I'm not going to sit here and bore you with a super long intro. If you clicked on this video, chances are you know what a draft grades video is. And if you don't, I'll run it down for you real quick. Pretty self-explanatory. Basically, we're going team by team, talking about the draft. I'm going to assign a letter grade to every single pick and then give an overall grade for the team in question. Going to be talking about all 32 teams over the summer. That's my big twist that I put on it. Not exactly reinventing the wheel, but not a lot of people give each team their own video to shine. Usually it's division by division, conference by conference, and those are totally legitimate ways of going about things and probably take a lot less work and save you a lot of time, but hey, I like to do things a little bit differently. Keep in mind, though, because of that time crunch, this intro is pre-recorded. I'm recording this all the way back in May. Who knows how long these videos will take to come out, so just keep that in mind. You know what team you're watching. You don't need me to tell you in the intro. You clicked on the video, you can read the title, you can see the thumbnail. Two quick things to keep in mind. Number one, I'm not a professional. I don't claim to be a professional. I am very much an amateur, so if I disagree with something your favorite team did, I'm not saying I know better than your favorite general manager, your favorite scout, if you're a freak and have one of those. I'm just saying I didn't agree with the pick. I didn't agree with the process. That's my opinion. Feel free to disagree and let me know in the comments below why you disagree with me or agree with the team, whichever it may be. Regardless, the point is, I'm not trying to say I'm better than anybody here. I just have opinions and I like to share them. Also, I have changed my grading scale up from last year, and that is to say that I actually have a grading scale now, as you can see on the screen. This will keep things more uniform, allow me to stay more consistent, and also provide some transparency between me and you as the viewer. So, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into whatever team we're talking about today. I have probably re-recorded this beginning bit 10 times, maybe more, because for these I typically try to have like a little blurb here before we actually dive into the picks, and I'm gonna be honest, man, I don't know what to say about Detroit. Like, they're really straightforward. They're a great football team. Brad Holmes is really, really good at his job. They tend to draft well. They have picks that tend to age like fine wine. You know, you look at picks like, for me personally, just going off of my evals in the past, I didn't love the Jahmyr Gibbs pick. I thought it was early. They trade out of Bijan Robinson to draft a running back. That's crazy. Jahmyr Gibbs is probably one of the 5 best running backs in football. Sam Laporta pick. Didn't love that. Wasn't a huge fan of him. He's one of the 5 to 10 best tight ends in football. And then they get like crazy steals. You know, Brian Branch falling to him last year. I thought Ennis Rakestraw was a steal, which I don't believe he had the best rookie season. I admittedly did not follow him as much as I probably would have liked to. But the whole point is they do things that are a little unconventional, or things fall their way and it tends to work out for them. And that is really not changed this year. I don't think they had like some crazy, holy shit, how did they manage that type of pick this year? But they definitely had the consensus head scratcher that truthfully could age like fine wine in terms of the benefit of the pick to the team, not the consensus opinion on the pick. We'll get into that in a minute though. Starting out with their first pick, Tyleik Williams, the nose tackle out of Ohio State. I don't want to say this is a safe pick, because normally when you say something's a safe pick, it means like it's a player with a high floor, not going to be some superstar. You just know exactly what they're going to be. Tyleik Williams, I think, has some upside. Like, he is someone that could definitely get better, and he has a good floor to begin with, because you look at Tyleik Williams as someone that, in my opinion, is going to step into the league day one as a plus run defender. His run diagnostics are incredible. He sees the field super, super well. He's able to read options, and he reads running backs and quarterbacks in the backfield very, very well. He is someone who can stack and shed consistently. He's a good two-gapper. He has the size, 6'3", 334, great play strength to go along with it. So he's going to step into the league day one as a good run defender, which is awesome, considering Detroit already had a top 5 rushing defense last year in terms of yards allowed. I think they allowed just barely 1,600 yards last year. Crazy. Point is, very, very good run defense, adding another very, very good run defender. But Tyleik Williams also has some juice, man. Like, he can get to the quarterback. Now, it's not consistent right now, but the upside is there, and it's exciting. When he gets off the ball, like when his first step really kicks into gear, man, he moves a lot quicker than you'd expect a big fella to. And on top of that, I love his bull rush. He generates speed, or that quickness into power very, very well. He has a lot of pop in his hands. He can jolt blockers upright. And what excites me about this pick for Detroit is he's going to work with DJ Reader, who is a similar player. You know, DJ Reader, a tremendous run defender, but he also can get to the quarterback. And now that he's 30, isn't going to be a Lion too much longer, I can't imagine. Tyleik Williams is the perfect successor for him. Right now, he can come in as his backup, maybe see the field alongside him a little bit, depending on how they play their rotations and whatnot. But, you know, coming in as his successor, as someone that's going to learn from him and then take his job as early as next year, potentially, that's an awesome pick. Now, I did mention that little asterisk. The only thing here is I really wish they would have went with an edge rusher over a D tackle if they were going to address their defensive line. Excuse me, my voice just gave out there for a second. But an edge rusher definitely would have been where I would have went. And remember, this is my opinions, my evaluations. I'm sure Detroit had their reasons for liking Tyleik Williams more than some of the edge rushers in this class, and that's totally valid. But when you look at the composition of their defensive line, edge is a lot weaker. Obviously, you have Aiden Hutchinson, who is incredible. But next to him, you have Al-Qadim Muhammad and Marcus Davenport and Josh Paschal. And I can't say I'm exactly moved by that group. So with Hutch coming off of injury, not saying he's going to like be worse or anything next year, but he's going to take a second probably to get acclimated. That's how these things tend to go. It would be awesome to have someone opposite him, not only for that, but also long-term, because then you get put in a position where, okay, teams are like double, sometimes triple teaming Hutch right now. If you have two respectable edge rushers, you know, if you would have went with a Nick Scorton, a Princely Umanmalin, a Donovan Ezaraku, a Landon Jackson, anyone like that, then you have two respectable edge rushers. You can't focus all your attention on one, because say you triple team Aiden Hutchinson, then that guy on the other side is not going to get as much attention. Maybe he's matched up with just a tight end, or the running back has to come up and provide chip help. And, you know, some of those guys, that's not going to work. Or it'll open up the guys in the interior more as well. So DJ Reader or Aleem McNeil can get to the quarterback. The same can kind of be said for Tyleik Williams, but I feel like having someone that would be a day one starter opposite Hutch that could then grow and develop alongside him would be a very, you know, would have been like a home run pick. You know, we talked about with the Packers, Matthew Golden was like the perfect thing they could have done. I think that would have been, in my eyes, the perfect thing Detroit could have done. Tyleik Williams is still an awesome pick. Like, he is the textbook definition of my B+ grade, where it's like, this is a great pick. I love the vision. However, right, just a little asterisk, but I digress. Tyleik Williams will probably have 3 sacks against the Bears this year, and someone will be able to come back to this video and be like, well, I thought they needed an edge rusher, and, you know, I won't really be able to combat that. Point is, really good pick. I just thought there was another route they could have went. And then you get on to day 2. They trade up a couple spots to take Tate Ratledge, the interior lineman out of Georgia. And this pick, I mean, it is more important now than it was in April, right? Because Frank Ragnow just retired yesterday as I'm recording this. And I'm not saying that Ratledge is going to play center. He could. He hasn't before, but, you know, he has the athletic profile to do so. So maybe he does end up playing center. Maybe they go with more like a Miles Frazier, or maybe they take one of their existing interior linemen, like a Christian Mahogany, and kick him into center, and then Ratledge has to start. Either way, this Ratledge pick is substantially more important now, and I thought it was a really, really good pick. This is a little bit later than I would have taken him, so the value is really good. And Ratledge was also just a player I like a lot. He has that Detroit mentality. You know, he calls himself a dirtbag on the field, which is, you know, the epitome of what Detroit kind of wants out of their players. In a complimentary way. I want to make it clear. Obviously, I'm a Bears fan, so calling Lions players dirtbags probably doesn't land well. I do mean in like an ass kicker way, not in like a playing dirty way. I'm not trying to say that Detroit's playing dirty or anything. The point is, with Ratledge, fits the mold, fits the ideals there. The big concerns with him, number one, he's not a consistent run blocker. I'm very confident in Detroit to be able to coach that up within him. He has the tools to do so. He has the strength. He has the quickness to get out in space. He has a good frame. So development can be done there. And I don't think it'll take too long to get him to be at least, passable run blocker with the potential to become a plus run blocker. But the big concern here Like, my really big concern, everyone's really big concern, is the health. He never played a full season in college because of injuries. Obviously, that is something you have to worry about. So this pick is a little bit risky. But you know what they say, no risk, no reward. This is a like textbook, high risk, high reward type of pick, where if he can stay on the field, he has the potential to be like a Pro Bowl caliber guard. If he can't stay on the field, then you not only traded up for a guy who, you know, might not be in the league in 3 years, but you also took him in the second round. Or I said that backwards. Point is, trading up in the second round for a guy that potentially, depending on his injuries, knock on wood, could be out of the league is never fun. But those are the risks you got to take, man, especially when you're Detroit. You're a team that's competitive. You want a guy that can step in day one. Ratledge makes a ton of sense for that. I think he will be starting week one at some position on the offensive line, and I could see him being an ass kicker out of the gate, man. He is awesome. I love this pick for them. And then in the third round, Isaac Teslaa, man, this is one that I have really gone back and forth with. Because on one hand, I loved Teslaa coming out. Like, I love the upside. I love the potential there. But I also really do get the concern. Like, I was really expecting, you know, I had Teslaa in my top 15 receivers, and my anticipation was, you know, this is going to be someone that's going to be taken on day 3, and I'm going to be like, this is a steal, right? Taking him here in the third round, technically, you know, where I have him graded out, but it makes the pick a lot scarier. I'm bringing this up not because this is like why I gave this pick a C+ or anything, but it's just worth noting, like, that's scary. Taking a guy like this in the third round is very, very risky. You look at someone who, you know, has the upside. He has a good frame, 6'4", 200 plus pounds, you know, ran a 4.43, really good run blocker, physical, good ball skills, reliable hands. But he's not a great route runner, and the production just wasn't there, man, like, at all. He was, I want to say, wide receiver 3, maybe wide receiver 4 for Arkansas last year. That's tough. That's really tough. Now, like I said, I get the upside, I get the appeal, I get the excitement, but, like, I get the appeal, man, but I don't know. I would have liked to see them take someone who maybe was a little bit more ready day one, someone who can really impact their receiver room right away, because I get it, their receiver room does need a little bit of help, but I don't know if Teslaa's the name I'm wanting to throw out there. And on top of that, I don't know how much I like the idea of him playing on the boundary, like playing outside. Because Teslaa to me is the perfect jumbo slot, you know, like a Jawan Jennings type of player who could even almost play like a little bit of wing tight end. But you look at Detroit's offense, you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's the best slot receiver in football, and Sam Laporta, who is one of, if not the best wing tight end in football. So he's not going to be playing either of those spots. That's for damn sure, which probably puts him at the X, probably puts him outside. And given that he's not like a fantastic route runner and isn't someone that I think is going to reliably beat press, that's concerning. We'll have to see if that develops. We'll have to see how that plays out. But as of right now, I have my concerns with that. Even though I like Teslaa and this is right about where I would have drafted him, because of that, I'm giving this one a C+, as you can see on the screen. It's just scary, man. Even then, I feel like I'm a little bit higher on this pick than a lot of people. You know, I've seen Fs, I've seen Ds. I think a C+ is being pretty optimistic, but like I said, we will have to see how this one pans out. This is the pick that is definitely the Detroit patented head scratcher, where we're here in, I guess in June now, but especially in April during the draft, where people are like, huh, that was a choice. And then it either ages like a fine wine like it tends to, or, you know, maybe this is the first one that doesn't, but we'll have to see. I'm rooting for Teslaa. I would love to see a lot of people be proven wrong about this guy, but, you know, that one is, like I said, all kind of to be determined for sure. And then we move on to day 3, and they took Miles Frazier, the offensive lineman out of LSU, and I like this pick a lot. I mean, this gets the highest grade for me out of any of their picks, because number one, the value was incredible. I had a 4th round grade on him. You get him here in the 5th. That's awesome. And second, I said this was an A+ before they lost Frank Ragnow. We were just talking about the importance of Tate Ratledge now. The same thing applies to Frazier, man. I mean, with Kevin Zeitler being gone and the interior offensive line kind of being up in the air in terms of what they're going to do. He could very easily wiggle his way into a starting spot. He's this big, physical, good run blocker. Reminds me a lot of Jonah Jackson, ironically. Former Pro Bowler for the Detroit Lions, now with my Chicago Bears. He gets to the second level well, even though he's not the most athletic guy in the world. Super smart, picks up on blitzes and stunts really well. Good strength as a run blocker, really good grip strength. Good technique as a pass blocker, has that mean streak you want to see. The only thing that worries me a little bit is the athleticism, given the offense that Detroit has run historically. A lot more on the zone side of things, but obviously Ben Johnson's gone. Maybe they go with a little bit more gap. Ben Johnson obviously had plenty of that in his playbook as well, but they kind of prided themselves on interior linemen that could get around and move. So there's a little bit of that with that, but clearly I have this pick as an A+, so I don't think it's going to matter a whole lot. More so just giving you the full profile here. Needs to clean up his footwork a little bit. And his pad level is inconsistent. But these are all things that can be fixed. These are all things that can be worked on. So getting Frazier here in the 5th round as a developmental lineman who could potentially start day one, depending on how, things shake out this offseason with the departures. That's an awesome pick. I absolutely love this pick for the Lions. Just, again, him and Ratledge are so important for them. I'm not trying to throw any shade at Christian Mahogany or at Graham Glasgow by any means. Those are two very solid players as well. But, having as many names in that mix right now after losing two strong veteran presences is really good to have. Maybe neither of them start this year, and that would be okay. I think one of them definitely will. And probably Ratledge, obviously being the 2nd round pick. But hypothetically, that could happen, and they could be sitting waiting in the wings to take over, but I digress. Two very exciting offensive linemen that could make an impact as soon as this season. Moving in then to the 6th round, we have Ahmed Hassanein. I believe I pronounced that correctly. The edge out of Boise State. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is not somebody that I watched pre-draft, not somebody I have been able to get around to post-draft. So I'm just giving this an NA. I'm not going to sit here and grade a guy that I have never consciously watched play a down of football. Maybe I saw him in passing when watching offensive linemen or something, but, I can't in good faith be like, oh, this is a great pick, or oh, this is a terrible pick, when I just don't know. So this is one where I'm going to turn to you all in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about this pick. I've seen some pretty positive stuff on the internet, just doing some preliminary research for this video. I understand that he's a high motor dude, plays hard, was very productive at Boise State, and that's awesome. Also, obviously, the first D1 player to be born in Egypt. That's awesome. Great story. Great to see him making it to the league. But again, I can't really speak on his abilities, his skills, what he brings to the table. Earlier, I was talking about wanting to see the Lions take an edge rusher. They get one here. Maybe I'm completely sleeping on somebody who could be the starter day one opposite Aiden Hutchinson. And if that's the case, then, oh boy, look out. But again, you guys will have to let me know in the comments below. I would love to be educated, and I'm rooting like hell for this guy. I really hope he's able to succeed. And then finally here in the 7th round, they had 2 picks, took a pair of Georgia teammates. Starting off here with Dan Jackson, the safety out of Georgia. Makes a lot of sense for Detroit. A hard-nosed type of player, really good at playing downhill. Not great in coverage and not the most athletic guy in the world, which is why he was available here in the 7th round. But he plays hard, a lot of heart, high motor, really aggressive. And he's going to make a hell of a special teamer. I think this is somebody that can absolutely make Detroit's roster as a special teamer, and maybe in goal line packages or something, or, short yardage situations, you can throw him out there and send him at running backs and things of that nature. But realistically, that might be a little bit of an optimistic outlook. Realistically, probably going to be a career special teamer, and that's totally cool here in the 7th round. You're looking for guys that can make the roster, make an impact somewhere, and Dan Jackson is the definition of that. And then his teammate, Dominic Lovett, wide receiver. He's somebody that, again, could potentially make the roster as a slot guy, as a backup. Someone that's going to be good on underneath routes right away, someone that can, catch and run, maybe make an impact on special teams because he has the athleticism and he's very fluid in his movement, good ball skills, things of that nature. However, he's tiny and his smaller, frame, smaller window that you can hit makes it tougher for a quarterback to get him the ball. So not saying anything bad about Jared Goff there. It's just guys like this, they tend to be very limited if they make a roster, and maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But at the tail end of the 7th round, can't say anything bad about it, obviously. So, but as a whole, and I'm changing this in post, I'm going to give them an A-. I think this is a very, very respectable draft class. Tyleik Williams, Tate Ratledge, 2 guys that can make an impact right away. Teslaa, we'll have to see. That is kind of something that is to be determined. Frazier, he could come in and make an impact right away. If not, he'll be a really solid backup. And then Hassanein, like I said, you guys will have to let me know in the comments. I just plucked him out of the equation when I was grading this class. And then Dan Jackson, Dominic Lovett, we'll see what they're capable of, if they even make the roster. If they don't, oh well. If they do, that's great. But who knows? Maybe this class can be even better than I'm giving it credit for if Hassanein is, a great player or a good player or able to make an impact. Like I said, I just don't know. That is not a slight at him by any means. I just straight up don't know. But anyways, that is going to do it for this video. This recording session for me has been a mess. I have had to re-record a lot, but we're going to get this out. We move. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a like down below, as it does help out the channel a ton. It shows your support, it shows you care, and I really do appreciate it. Also, make sure to subscribe for more NFL content throughout the offseason. We just got through our first division. I'm a little bit behind schedule because my computer decided to shit itself for about a week, so editing was a real struggle, but now we've got it sorted. We're good. We're settled, thankfully. So we'll be able to get these out. And I also have some other videos planned for throughout the summer. We're in June now. Happy Pride Month, by the way, to everyone out there. But we'll definitely have more content that you won't want to miss. And also make sure to comment down below. Like I said, let me know about Hassanein. Am I missing out on him? I'm sure I am. And honestly, I may go back and make a film breakdown just to make up for not really knowing about him. But let me know, other than that, your thoughts on this class as a whole. Do you think Teslaa was some crazy, batshit, stupid pick? How do you feel about that one? Any of the other picks? Let me know down in the comments below. I would love to talk to y'all about it. But all that being said, again, I hope you all enjoyed. And I hope you all have a wonderful day, evening, night, afternoon, whatever time of day it is for you. I hope you enjoy it because you're all wonderful people and you truly do deserve it.
Had a chance on the throwback. This was an ill-advised throw. What an unbelievable catch by Cole Kmet. And he cups it too. No movement when he hits the ground, tucked up against his shoulder. Wow. Using that